Hello, baseball fans. This is Anthony with BBSN, and we are back for start number 25 in the 1969 Fergie Jenkins payoff pitch replay. And in today's ball game, the Cubbies travel to Philadelphia to play the Phillies in Old Shive Park. Let's get straight to the action. Today's lineups for the Cubs: leading off, shortstop Don Kessinger, Glenn Beckert at second, sweet swinging Billy Williams in left, Ron Santo at third, Ernie Banks at first, Jim Hickman in right, Randy Hundley behind the plate, Don Young back in center, and of course Fergie on the mound for the home-standing Phillies. Tony Taylor at third, Cookie Rojas at second, Larry Heisel in center, Rick Joseph at first, John Briggs in right, Darren Johnson gets the start in left, Don Money at short, Mike Ryan behind the dish, and Grant Jackson will take the mound for the Phillies. In this contest in real life, Fergie bounced back from a disastrous start his last time out against the Mets, where he only lasted an inning, and the Cubbies took this 1-0 behind a complete game shutout. Fergie at this point in the replay is 17-4 with a 1.92 ERA. In real life at this point he was 12-7 with a 2.82 ERA. And the Cubbies in games which Fergie starts in real life were 15-9 coming into this contest. And in the replay they are at 18-6. So they've shaved the final deficit that the Mets had on them in 1969 from 8 games to 5 at this point. So a lot of work to do if they're going to overtake the Mets and earn their way into the NLCS. So let's hope this one is a start as we get ready to the action. And please remember to stick around for our 7th inning fun fact. Today we'll be talking about Tommy Leach, who played in ID Jester's favorite era. Check out his great channel, by the way, the dead ball era. And just some facts about Tommy, who is probably not very well remembered in modern times, so we'll give him a little love. But in the meantime, Grant Jackson is ready to go. Kessinger's ready to hit. Here we go. And starts the game off as patient, and Kessinger's going to lead it off with a single for the Cubbies. Drives that one back up through the box, so runner on first for Glenn Beckert. And the Cubbies, they are not a base running team, not going to happen. In play, and Beckert against the left-hander, and squibs that off the end of the bat, and loops that into the outfield. And I forgot my fast action cards. So that is going to be a single, and hard grounder. It goes into left field. A runner on first advances 2 bases. So not so much of a squib after all. So the Cubbies in business. Runners at first and third. Nobody out. Sweet swing of Billy Williams trying to give them a charge, get them on the board. Tough, and 52 against the left-hander. It is going to be a ground ball down to third base, 6, and bad news, double play range for Billy and Grant. That's going to get a run home, but that will be 2 outs. So 5-4-3 on the double play. But the Cubbies take a 1-0 lead, no RBI for Billy on that. Ron Santo up now, 2 down, bases empty. And that's going to be an in-play result, and Santo grounds that down to second base, and up with that is Rojas, whips it over to first, and inning is over. So the Cubbies start off with a couple of hits, get a run. We head to the bottom of the first frame. Chicago up 1-0. And leading off against Fergie, Tony Taylor, the Philly third baseman. And we're going to have a defensive check. And on that will be a range check on the second baseman. So Beckert, he is not Beckert, Rojas is a C. So range is C, he gets to that easily and makes a play. Or Beckert is a B, so Beckert makes a play easily, 4-3. 1 down for the Phillies. And that's going to bring up Cookie Rojas, the Phillies' second sacker. Here comes a pitch from Fergie, and that'll be patient, and Cookie is going to pop that up, and circling under that is Kessinger, 2 down. Larry Heisel, the batter. And 6, tough, 78, fly ball to center field. Coming in to take that is Young, and 3 up, 3 down go the Phils. So we have 1 inning in the books. And the Phillies, actually, too quick to assume, the inning is still alive, as that is actually a single. Heisel strikes out a lot. So your broadcast a little rough early in this one. 2 down for Rick Joseph, runner on first, and that could be a pivotal thing. Ballpark, and that's going to be wheelhouse. Be a very pivotal thing if Joseph can go deep here, 38 or less, and just missed that. Instead, that's going to be a single. So over to third goes Heisel, and the Phillies. A little business here with 2 outs. Runners at the corners for Johnny Briggs. 7's going to be in play, and this time the inning will end as Briggs flies out to Don Young in center. So a couple of hits for the Phillies, but no runs, 2 left. And now heading to the top of the second inning, 1-0 Cubs. Mr. Cubby Ernie Banks, who I had the pleasure of meeting. If you've seen some of these earlier videos in real life, a real cool guy. He is up, and that's going to be Patient, 43 against the left-hander. And that is going to be a hit by, that'll be a single. So Ernie leads off the second, and the Cubbies, their 3rd hit of the afternoon. Jim Hickman steps in, and that'll be a ballpark result. That'll be in play in Shive Park against the left-hander. And 0-7 is going to be a single. Just missed extra bases on that. Grounder up the middle into center field. Runners go station to station. So again, the Cubbies put their first 2 runners on and looking to avoid the double play this time and pad the lead as Randy Hundley steps up. 9, that's going to be in play, and that'll be a fly ball to right field. Runner on second is going to hold, 1 down. So Hundley, who has had some good games in this series, has been a little bit of a slump the last couple of starts for Fergie. Grant Jackson Patient to Don Young, and 94 is going to be a fly ball to left field. So again, Cubbies getting runners on early and not being able to do much with them. First and second still 2 outs. Fergie the batter, and that's going to be Patient. And Fergie is a 6, and unfortunately not going to help his cause this time as he flies out to right field. So 2 more hits for the Cubbies. They cannot produce a run this time. We go to the bottom of the second inning here at lovely and dilapidated Shive Park. 1-0 Cubs. Darren Johnson up against Fergie. Tough. And 78, that is going to be a fly out to center field. 1 down as Don Young comes in to take care of that. Johnson back to the dugout. And Don Money, and my biggest memory of him with the Brewers when he played third for the Brew Crew was seeing him smoking down in the tunnel in the dugout during a game on TV. And tough from Fergie, 53, and that's going to be a single for Money, so a 1-out base hit. 3rd hit for the Phillies off Fergie. It's going to bring up the catcher, Mike Ryan. And Ryan's going to put that in play, but it's going to be a shallow fly ball into left field. An easy can of corn out there as Billy Williams puts that away. Williams has played Fergie's last 2 starts in right and back in his familiar territory today. As Phillies pitcher Grant Jackson steps up to the plate. 8's going to be tough, and 14, you know what's coming there. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. So a hit, no runs, 1 left for the Phils. We're through 2, 1-0 Cubbies. And back to the top of the order, Grant Jackson facing Don Kessinger. 6 will be tough, and Kess against the left-hander has no answer for that. Fooled by a slow curve, and he waves way out in front of that, heads back to the dugout cursing. Glenn Beckert, the batter now, 1 down. Jackson kicks, delivers, ballpark, and that's going to be in play. And against the left-hander, and Beckert is going to get a single, so his 2nd hit of the ball game. 2 for 2 is Glenn. And down at first base, and he is wondering, possibly debating if he's going to steal. Decides not to. In 5, Patient, and 84 to Sweet Swinging Billy Williams against the southpaw. It's going to be a ground ball down to second base, and once again, Williams inside the double play range. 4-6-3 goes this one. Second DP he's put in or hit into. So the Cubbies, one hit, nobody left, and heading to the bottom of the third inning, they still cling to that 1-0 lead. As Tony Taylor, top of the order for the Phillies against Fergie. Tony Taylor's going to get tough against the right-hander and just missed on that. It's going to be a ground ball down to third base. Easy scoop for Santo. Whips it over to Banks. One down. Cookie Rojas went on to have a much better portion of his career with the Kansas City Royals. Good defensive second baseman. And that is going to be tough from Fergie. And 21. And Rojas going to drive that down the line. Opposite field double. So in standing at second base, Cookie does his job. And the Phillies threatening Larry Heisel, who singled his first time up. Even though I tried to take it away from him. Tough, and not this time. Swing and a miss, Fergie. High heat. And Larry Heisel says, I need that a little bit cooler. Can't catch up. 2 down. Runner on second for Rick Joseph. Fergie, the windup. Patient, 46. And that is going to be a single. And with 2 outs, that's going to bring home the tying run. So Phillies a clutch hit there for Rick Joseph, RBI, and they have tied this game up at 1. So runner at first base now, and Johnny Briggs, the lefty, steps up. It's going to be a defensive check, and defense is going to be a range check on shortstop, and at shortstop, Don Kessinger, he's going to get to that easily. So easy play, whips it over to Banks, and the inning is over. But the Phillies scratch out a couple more hits. They have 5 on the afternoon, and we are through 3 innings, tied at 1 as we head to the top of the 4th. And the Cubbies cleanup hitter Ron Santos set to deliver. Comes a pitch from Jackson. 8's going to be tough, and Santos not going to deliver anything there, but a lot of cool air for the spectators close to the field as he strikes out to open up the 4th inning. So Jackson matching Banks here. Neither pitcher has been dominating. They've both been touched for some hits, but keeping it off the scoreboard for the most part. The pitch to Ernie Banks, and Ernie drives that into left field. 1-out single. So hit number 6 for the Cubbies as Jim Hickman strides up to the plate. 6 going to be tough against the left-hander, and Hickman jammed inside. Can't catch up to that. 2 down as he swings, misses. Back to the dugout he goes. Randy Hundley. Provide a little clutch 2-out magic, and a tough again, and Hundley's going to complete the trifecta as Jackson strikes out the side, does give up a single in there, but we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, still tied at 1. As the Cubbies leave Ernie Banks at first base, Darren Johnson set to lead off for the Phillies. Ballpark, that's going to be wheelhouse, and Johnson got a little pop in his bat, 38 or less. Takes a rip, and 59 is going to be a fly ball deep to the track, going back, and pulling that in is Jim Hickman. So a long loud out for Darren Johnson to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. Don Money the batter. 5, that'll be Patient, and Money works a base on balls from Fergie. That's his first of the day. So bottom of the order, Mike Ryan, and Ryan, Phillies need him to get a hit here if they want to stay in this, but tough, not going to happen. Fergie's got other ideas, and those are, you sir, go sit down. Catches him looking with a slider on the outside corner. 2 down now for the pitcher. And Grant Jackson going to hit. That's going to be in play, but 38 is going to be a pop fly to second base. Beckert's going to take that, and the inning is over. So no hits, no runs, no errors. 1 left for the Phillies. We're heading to the top of the 5th inning, still tied at 1. And this one is Don Young steps in for the Cubbies. And Young going to get an in-play result against the left-hander, and he's got a single. So Young leads off the fifth, and Fergie, despite his hitting heroics of late, they're going to have him bunt. And Fergie bunting is a F. No worries though, 85, and 85 is going to be a miss. Man, not good. So we're going to have a steal attempt for Don Young, and Don Young is a 4F behind the dish. Catcher Mike Ryan has an arm of 3. So 3F and 80, and that is going to be easily gunned down. So Fergie whiffs on the bunt attempt, and caught stealing is Don Young. So Fergie now will have to swing the bat. 5, that's going to be patient, 55 to Fergie, and that'll be a fly ball to right field, 2 down. Ferguson actually has been very solid in this replay at the plate. He's probably, I'd have to go back and calc, but I'm pretty sure he's hitting around 240 at this point. Did not come through there, however, and tough to Kessinger, 57. And against the left-hander, that's going to be a fly ball to right field. So the Cubbies, after that leadoff single, are set down, and we head to the bottom of the fifth. And as is often typical in 1969, a pitcher's duel, 1-1. As Tony Taylor set to lead it off, 10. It's going to be an in-play result, and Taylor grounds that down to shortstop. Kessinger takes care of that easily. Routine play to Ernie Banks, 1 down. Cookie Monster Rojas steps in, 5. That's going to be patient. 97 will be a fly out to left field. Sweet swinging Billy Williams. Couple of steps to his left, pads the glove, puts it away, whips it back in, and Larry Heisel set to hit. Heisel in play, and against Fergie, it's going to be a single. So Heisel, a hard line drive back up the middle. And that is going to be the 6th hit that Fergie's given up. And Rick Joseph singled and drove in the Phillies run back in the 3rd inning. 8 is going to be tough, and Joseph, 60. Fergie does not like that single he got last time, so he blows 3 by him. The high heat again, and sides retired. The Phillies get a hit, leave 1. We're through 5 in this game, moving along at a brisk pace, still tied at 1, as Glenn Beckert will lead things off for the Cubbies here in the top of the 6th inning. 4, that's going to be tough, and 48 against the left-hander. Will be a fly ball to right field, so Beckert, a shallow fly ball that John Briggs takes care of, no problem. Sweet swinging Billy Williams up now. And Williams, tough, 52 against the lefty, and just missed a hit on that. Instead, it's going to be a ground ball down to 3rd base. And Tony Taylor whips that across the diamond. Rick Joseph digs it out of the dirt on a hop. 2 down for the Cubbies. So Grant Jackson pitching, matching Fergie donut for donut as we go, pitching fairly well. 10's going to be patient, and Santo's going to draw the base on balls with 2 outs. And that is Grant Jackson, first walk of the day, and it brings Ernie Banks up. And Ernie singled twice in this one, so looking to keep the magic going. It's going to be a ballpark result. 74 and Shibe will be in play. And against the southpaw, not going to get it done. A fly ball to center field, and easy play out there for Larry Heisel. So the Cubbies are retired. No hits, no runs, no errors, 1 left. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, not at a single apiece. So Fergie is going to get tough on Johnny Briggs, 66, and that'll be a ground ball down to Kessinger, over to Banks, 1 down. Brings up Darren Johnson. Johnson went on to play for the Athletics under Charlie Finley later. 9 will be a tough result, and Johnson doesn't care about the trivia. He doesn't like striking out as Fergie sends him back, catches him looking, 2 outs. So Don Money, and our next strikeout call will be a shout out to our good buddy Chris at Strat-o-matic, Delaware. Check out that great channel. Subscribe if you have not. He's got a lot of good stuff going on there. Currently running some red, white, and blue racing from Play Games, Keith Avalone. So Don Money, he's going to get a tough result in 18, just on cue. So Chris, this is for you. Swinging at the knee cheese. Struck him out. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Phillies. And we are through 6. Knotted up at 1 apiece, and we go to the 7th inning. And again, stay tuned mid-inning in this one for our fun fact of the ball game, which involves the diminutive Tommy Leach from the Louisville and Pittsburgh Pirates back in the dead ball era, played from 1898 to 1918. So Grant Jackson to Jim Hickman. 7, that'll be in play, and Hickman, he's going to get a hold of that, drive that in the gap in left field, a leadoff double. So the Cubbies in business here to start the 7th. Jackson, he is good until the 9th fatigue-wise. So he's going to try and pitch his way out of that. Some rustling in the Phillies bullpen nonetheless. As 7's going to be in play. 87 to Randy Hundley. That's going to be a ground ball down to short. Runner has to hold. So a big out there. And down in the bullpen, the Phillies are going to get Turk Farrell loosening up. As up to the plate next for the Cubbies will be Don Young, and then the pitcher spot. And depending on what Young does, that will give us a decision to make. Tough, Young's not going to make that decision any easier as Grant Jackson dominates him. 3 strikes on 4 pitches, and Young back to the dugout, 2 down. So Fergie, he has been sailing along. He's only allowed 1 hit over the last 3 innings. And we're going to leave him in to hit, keep him in the game, keep that arm going. 7 will be in play, and Fergie with the rare play. So again, using the Glory Days Baseball rare play chart, 88 bases empty. And that is going to be batter walks and goes to second base as catcher argues the call. So Fergie Jenkins, well, and actually with a runner on second, that rare play is going to be nullified because pretty certain Mike Ryan would not allow Jim Hickman to go to third. So instead, that gets us back to the top of the order for Don Kessinger with 2 on and a chance to break this one open for Fergie, and a run is usually all he needs, but tough, and 0-9, Kessinger can't catch up to the Grant Jackson fastball. Disappointment abounds through the Cubs dugout as they waste a hit and a walk. Leave 2, and we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, still knotted up at 1. And as promised, our fun fact of the day, Tommy Leach. Tommy Leach, as mentioned, played for Louisville and then again the Pittsburgh Pirates predominantly. And at 5'6", he was not a big player. His playing weight ranged from 135 to 150 pounds. But he did have some interesting stats and make some notable firsts in the game. In fact, despite his diminutive size, he was amongst the top 6, or the top 10, 6 times in both triples and home runs in the National League. And triples, as you know, is as much an indicator of a power hitter back then as home runs due to the expansive ballparks. Speaking of home runs, he hit 63 in his career, 49 of which were of the inside of the park variety, and that is second only all time to Wahoo Sam Crawford. He also has the distinction of being the player to get the first hit and score the first run in the modern World Series, and that came in 1903, Pirates against the Boston Red Sox, and he got that hit off of Cy Young. He also holds the all-time lead for most triples in a single World Series with 4. Again, that came in 1903. And kind of cool fact, when Lawrence Ritter did his excellent book, Glory of Their Times, he interviewed Tommy Leach in 1964. Tommy Leach at the time was the oldest ball player to be interviewed for the book, checking in at 86 years old, and he did die 5 years later in 1969 at the age of 91. But that book, especially the audio book, if you have not heard it or do not have it, highly recommend it. You can find it on iTunes. I listen to that book once a year. Besides Leach, you have Rube Marquardt, Sam Crawford is in there, Hans Lopert, Chief Myers. There's a multitude, Lefty O'Dowd, Smokey Joe Wood, a lot of players that Lawrence Ritter was able to interview, and the audio book is the actual players themselves telling their stories. And speaking of which, we're going to do a little dead ball diary tomorrow about the glory of the times, and specifically the story that was related in that book by Rube Marquardt about, actually I'm sorry, it was related by Fred Snodgrass about the legendary Charles Victory Faust, a mascot basically for the New York Giants team back then. So that'll be up tomorrow, and in honor of Victory Faust, we will then play a game which took place between the Giants and the Trolley Dodgers, or Robins, Brooklyn, in 1911, in which Charles Faust actually pitched an inning, one of 2 major league games he appeared in. So that will be up on the channel tomorrow. So back to our action here, bottom of the 7th, Mike Ryan set to lead it off for the Phils, and in play, 81. That's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. Kessinger takes care of that. And the Phillies are also going to let Jackson hit. He has been pitching well over the last few innings and tough. And Fergie says, thanks, that's an easy strikeout for me. As Jackson doesn't even take the bat off his shoulder. 2 down, top of the order, Tony T. And tough from Fergie, 57. That's going to be a fly ball to right field. Routine play out there for Jim Hickman. So the Phils are retired in order yet again. Fergie lately has just gotten stronger as a game. He's had his last, 3 starts where he started off a little slowly but kind of ratcheted down as the game's gone on. Doing the same thing here as we head to the top of the 8th. This game is knotted at 1 run apiece. And Glenn Beckert leads it off against Grant Jackson. That's going to be a ballpark check, and the double zeros override that, so we're going to go back to the Glory Days baseball rare play chart. 63, bases empty, catcher interference, runner awarded first base. So as Clinton Parks would say, some shenanigans going on here. That will be recorded as an E2. So down to first base is Beckert, and sweet swinging Billy Williams now. Runner on first. Jackson was not happy with that call. Patient result to sweet swinging Billy Williams. But Jackson's going to get him. Fly ball to center field. And back to first goes Beckert, 1 down. Cleanup hitter Ron Santo up. Santo in today's game has grounded out to second, struck out, and walked. Here comes a pitch from Grant. And tough, he's going to tack up another strikeout for Grant Jackson as he swings and misses at the slider out of the zone. 2 down for Ernie Banks. And that catcher interference could be clutch here if Ernie can get it in play. He can, but it's going to be a harmless fly ball to left field that Darren Johnson takes care of easily. So after the leadoff catcher's interference, the Cubs are set down, and we are still tied at a run apiece as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Cookie Rojas looking to get things going against Fergie as Phil Reagan and Hank Aguirre warm up in the Cubs bullpen. 8-63, that's going to be tough for Rojas. And that will be a ground ball down to second base to Beckert. Over to Banks, 1 down. Larry Heisel, the batter. Heisel, he's got a little bit of pop, hoping to get hold of one. It's going to be an in-play result, and he does. Just misses extra bases, though. That'll go for a single. And Heisel, that's his 3rd hit of the ball game. Also has a strikeout in there, so the Phils are in business, and Rick Joseph Gets signs from the third base coach. Here comes a pitch from Fergie. That's going to be in play as well. And 11 and another single. And Fergie might be in trouble here. That's a sharp line drive into center field. Too hard to get Heisel over to third. So first and second are the Phils. One down, and Geary and Reagan are firing with some intent out there. We will see a Geary if Fergie can't get out of this inning. 6. It's going to be in tough, 88, and that will be a ground ball down to second. 6. Outside of double play of Briggs. So we will go to the 2D10, 45 or less, and that's going to be a fielder's choice. So Joseph erased at second. Over to third goes Larry Heisel, and fielder's choice for Johnny Briggs. So runners at the corners, 2 down for Darren Johnson. Darren, he's also had a couple of opportunities in this game with runners on. 2 flyouts and a K. Here comes the pitch in play. 47, Johnson, and can't get it done. Ground ball down to Santos, and Fergie dodges the bullet as 5-3 goes the putout. So a couple of hits for the Phils, but no runs scored. We're through 8, 0-0 as we head to the last inning. Both pitchers, Farrell is ready in the Phils bullpen, and Geary and Reagan are both ready in the Cubs if needed. Jackson to Hickman, both pitchers at their point of fatigue, but they've given up 2 runs or less, so they will stay fresh. And in play to Hickman, that's going to be a fly out to right field, 1 down. So Jackson and Fergie have engaged in an epic pitcher's duel, and we're looking at some free baseball here in this one in play. And that is going to be turn Randy Hundley upside down, fooled him so bad. It's going to be a fly out to left field. Easy play out there for Darren Johnson. 2 down for the Cubbies, Don Young. And if Young gets on, we will definitely see the last of Fergie. Tough, 48 against the left-hander, and swing and a miss. Young strikes out for the 2nd straight time, so 3 up, 3 down for the Cubs. And we are heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. All tied up at 1, and it's going to be for the home team, Money, Ryan, in the pitcher spot. So we will undoubtedly have a pinch hitter there. And already limbering up is dangerous Dick Allen. So 7 for Fergie. He doesn't want to face Dick, and that's going to be a in-play result. Fly out to left field. Sweet swinging Billy Williams, 1 down. Mike Ryan, the batter now. 7 in play, and 61. It's going to be a ground ball to Beckert, 2 away. And Jackson's day is done. He came back and had a good effort, went 9 innings. Gave up 8 hits, only a single run. Had 2 walks in that time and struck out 6. So good effort for Jackson, and that's all he can do. Leaves it up to his team now, and Farrell is going to be the new pitcher if this game goes to the 10th inning. And dangerous Dick Allen, he can end this with 1 swing of the bat. Look at that wheelhouse against a righty. And to get a wheelhouse against Fergie, though, you need double 6s. Not going to happen here. 5. That'll be patient. 19, and Dick's going to draw a base on balls. Probably a good decision. Not take a chance with the power hitting Allen, so he's at first base with a walk. And back to the top of the order. Tony Taylor up, and Taylor looking to be the hero here. In play, 0-6, and that is going to be the ball game. Tony Taylor laces that down into the left field corner, rattling around. Sweet swinging Billy Williams can't pick it up. Coming around third is Allen. Here comes a play at the plate, and he is safe under the tag. A walk-off triple for Tony Taylor, and the Philly fans are going nuts. This one is over.
Bottom of the ninth, 2-out Lightning as the RBI triple gets Dick Allen home, who pinch hit and walked, and the Phillies spoil this one for Fergie with a well-played 2-1 victory. So final stats, and that also gives Grant Jackson the win as he goes the distance. And Fergie, definitely a victim of tough luck there. He gave up, both pitchers gave up 8 hits for the day, but Fergie put his behind a walk, one of 2 that he had in this game. So Fergie, 9 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, and Jenkins struck out Struck out 7. So, great game, great pitchers duel, as you would expect in the 68-69 season. So, player of the game, think you pretty much have to go with Grant Jackson. Could make a case for Larry Heisel with 3 hits, but he did not drive in any runs, did not score any. So, I'm going to give this POG to Grant Jackson. Again, he went 9 innings, gave up 8 hits, a single earned run, walked 2, struck out 6, and kept the Cubbies at bay. It was a little rough early. He gave up 5 hits in the first 3 innings, settled down after that, and only gave up 3 hits the rest of the way over the final 6. So well earned for Grant, and that's going to drop Fergie to 17-5 in this replay. And it was a tight game, just as it was in real life. Cubbies, just as they did in real life, scored 1. Only this time the Phillies scored a 2 instead of 0. So that's going to do it from Shad Park. And again, please remember to visit our great friends of the channel, and hope you enjoyed the 7th inning fun facts against Tommy Leach, third baseman mostly for the Pirates back in the early part of the 20th century. And a reminder, we'll be back tomorrow with Dead Ball Diaries featuring Charles Victory Faust, and then a bonus 1911 game, which Faust actually played in. Now, I'll be doing that with a 1911 Strat set, and obviously they do not have Charles Victory Faust carded, so he will not be making an appearance in the replay game, but will be there with us in spirit. So until then, thanks as always for watching. Appreciate the support and comments. And if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. And until next time, keep rolling for the fences. We'll see ya.